Okay, Charles LeBlanc here. I'm at the King's Ale place where there's a club and the Brewbaker down on Queen Street. Now, why am I here? Well, there's always issues to talk about. And I've been having a rough week with the cops and the lawsuit and this and that. People coming to me with different issues. But there's one thing, there's one person in this city that I never really blog, but you know, I think the public should be concerned. The owner of this club, his name is Doug William. Doug William was a member of the Conservative Party. He was behind the protest against the selling of NB Power. He was anti-liberal, and then he had a club down in what's it called again? Anyway, I forgot. Down on Queen Street. I'm all wound up. I'm sorry. Down on Queen Street, the place was burnt down, and then he moved here. Hey, come on, a business entrepreneur, you gotta admire that. But with business entrepreneur, you have to have attitude. Now, I remember the former premier, David Howard. He invited me in his booth to talk to him. Next thing you know, Doug William comes, points at my shoulder, a serious look. Did you ask permission to the premier to be here? I look at him, I said, what do you think I am? Some kind of a paparazzi? I would just go behind the suite where the premier is and don't even be invited? But anyway, that bothered me, but I let that go after a while. But then I saw his picture in the Irving Fredericton paper, fans, stating that he is a member of the Canadian Diabetic Association. They're going to have a wine and dine. I didn't read the whole thing, but just looking at his face just makes me sick. A wine and dine in there for the Canadian Diabetic Association. Now, I remember a month ago, see some people at the Crown Plaza? Hey, walk in there, want to know what was going on. I noticed Doug Williams staring at me, and he had people come and confront me to get me out of here. Now, Doug Williams, as far as I'm concerned, we'll call him a racist, but he is a snob. He's a snob that thinks he's above everybody else. I strongly urge the Canadian Diabetic Association not to be involved with this guy, because diabetic is a terrible thing. My grandmother died as a diabetic. So what do they want? Only snob blood to preserve among each other? Never mind the poor. Diabetic is for everybody. Everybody, including your poor, your drug addict, your alcoholics, and your snobs. So you got people like that going around and say, oh, we don't want those people here. We don't want, oh, we're going to wine and dine and the elite. Bullshit. As far as I'm concerned, the Canadian Diabetic Association should distance themselves from that snob, the owner of the Brewbaker, because Doug William is no, I'm so angry. He says they should just dismiss themselves from this idiot.